Gaza is firstly perhaps the most complicated, difficult, tragic, and impossible humanitarian situation. We know that maybe 40,000 people have been killed, of which 11,000 are probably children, but we also know this is a gross underestimate. We haven't looked under the rubble as a first point. We know that the deliveries of humanitarian aid these days are the lowest ever, and that the impediments come from the Israel Defense Forces, with whom we have daily contact, but nevertheless, the fighting continues. The fighting has killed many of my colleagues. Over 200 of UNRWA's staff have been killed in these months. So aid is not getting through to the people. They are being moved all the time. They are now crowded into an area of Gaza, which is 11% of the territory. All of those people. There's no sewage, there's no sanitation, there's disease, there's hunger, and there are so many deaths. So it's a humanitarian tragedy. Secondly, it is one that has no future. We know that behind the scenes, the United States and Israel and maybe others are talking about plans for post-war, it's a surreal point, but post-war governance in Gaza and indeed in Palestine. This is not the right way to go about planning for the future. It is not the right way to go about providing hope, which keeps people alive, and its absence drives them to despair and death and disease. It's intolerable that this is happening, and it's not over the horizon, it's now. And so for those who think there must be a hostage deal, finding a pathway to the future, which of course includes a Palestine state, starts now. And reassurance to the people of the region that there is a solution which is humane, principled, and legal. And my final point is that Gaza is one of a terrible pattern of conflicts across the world today, where there is no accountability for the acts of the warring parties. There is a savage killing number of journalists, aid workers, health workers in Gaza, never mind the civilian toll, which is, of course, staggering. Impunity is a feature of the Gazan nightmare. It is not a casual option. It is a deliberately chosen strategy. Why wouldn't you go to war if you are perfectly sure that there will be no comeback? We see this elsewhere as well, of course. Gaza, therefore, extends the record of unaccountable behavior, and it will mean that war as a prime instrument of choice for resolving differences instead of dialogue will only expand, not just in that region, but in the world. Gaza receives a lot of diplomatic attention, as we know, unlike many other conflicts, but it's a diplomatic attention which on the whole has not produced the results we expect, and indeed is sometimes more divisive